Doing, guys, just set up this, make sure we're live. Again, today we're gonna react to top reasons why people quit. Again, real estate, especially right now. Again, it's gonna be kind of hard because there's a shift in the market, in a sense that buyers are still stuck thinking their properties are valued at 6 months ago, not today. So that hurts new investors, especially when they want to go into the market, because they had to get a really low discount. Let me just get this. Share the screen. It's gonna be this one. Share sound. Okay, this guy, he's from Real Estate Skills, so I can just react into his. Just gonna react to his what he thinks is gonna the top reasons, and we'll agree or to disagree in case we don't agree both at the same time. Let me make sure we're live. I just got an email. Hold on. And also, we will be talking about land deals. I have a client that wants to sell 80 acres. Again, I've done land deals. I've done single land deals, like lots. All right. Again, I've done, but not 80, right? Raw land. Again, I've done, but so we'll see again how I got the deal, and then as far as what are we negotiating, and then what's more or less the price of it. Go there. Make sure we're live on YouTube. Okay, still not working on that one. Sure. And hope everybody's week went strong. Again, there is a shift in the market, so now we need to start negotiating prices lower, because buyers are going to be more. They're going to need more of a spread. Again, this is where we come in, where we can take on more properties. But if you're just getting into the business, then you might not be able to purchase, or maybe get 5-10K down on a owner finance deal. Go over there. And I don't know if you guys Googled it, but the mortgage rates are crazy. So the average down payment is almost going to be 3%. Here in my area, the average house is now selling for around what's it called, like around 150 to 200K, and the average credit score is just above FHA guidelines. So if that's where you're at, look at the rates. Look at the rates on that. 30 years, 8.6. 8.6 interest rate for a 30-year mortgage. That it is bananas. But it is what it is. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the review for this video. I'll put it in extra speed so we can go faster. Let's see. And then we'll talk about the land deals.
Of real estate wholesalers and flippers to be successful at real estate, it's apparent that most real estate wholesalers actually suffer and quit when it comes to building their business. So today I'm going to cover the 5 main reasons why most wholesalers suffer and quit, so you can avoid those pitfalls and you can build a thriving wholesale real estate business. I'm Alex Martinez, CEO and founder of RealEstateSkills.com, and so let's dive right into it.
Okay.
All right, so reason number 1 why most real estate wholesalers suffer and quit is because most wholesalers actually spread themselves way too thin when they're starting out. And what I mean by this is, you may have seen it, and this may be you, the first week you're starting out in wholesaling, you may try door knocking. And so you're door knocking on houses, seeing if people are willing to sell their house. And then that doesn't work out too great. So then the next week.
And that is true. Again, shiny object syndrome. We try to do, like when I started my business, I went straight to bandit signs. I knew bandit signs were good, but also as soon as I started putting in bandit signs, again, you started doing the YouTube stuff and learning more strategies. And then it's true what he says. So basically, instead of putting all your, let's say you have 10 cups and you have only 1 cup full of water and the other ones are empty, instead of putting all and you're trying to grow a tree or like a plant, instead of making sure the first plant is surviving and taking care of it, what you do is you get the water and you start spreading it into different cups. So this one doesn't get enough water to start out from the ground up. By the time you know it, what's it called? It's dying because you basically took away the what's it called? Their nutrients in the water. And that's what the shiny object syndrome does. Like you start doing, instead of doing door knocking, just do straight out door knocks until you either get a deal or you decide to quit that type of prospecting. Why would you quit? It's just not working. Now, how long do you take to get an answer if it's going to be a good strategy or a bad? Give it a couple of months, 60, 90 days. Don't quit after 2 days. Or don't quit after a week. Oh, nobody called me. No. Again, everything takes time. So yeah, that is true that what he's saying. Like, in a lot of people, they try they spread themselves thin where they try to do 20 strategies all at once. Just hear me out with this. Every strategy works. Every strategy that you do works. But if you're building a dam's basically you have basically like a river, you put a little block and it adds water, right? And then you put your reason for building that because you want energy, so you put a turbine here so the water flows through there. But what people are doing, they're putting one turbine, and when the water's about to get up, they do another hole over there for another type of strategy, so another energy source. So it never gets to a point where it can produce energy here, and once it produces energy here, then you go to the next one. People, before even they make a deal here, they go on to the next one and to the next one. So they basically they first they get exhausted. Second of all, it doesn't work because you're basically losing focus on A to do B. And then if you do the same pattern, you lose focus on A to do B, and then you lose focus on B to do C, and then nothing happens. You're basically being mediocre at everything. So yeah, it's true.
You're starting to do direct mail campaigns. So you're licking envelopes, you're sending out mail.
And then and direct mail campaigns are super expensive, guys.
Doesn't work too great. So the next week you're then putting out bandit signs that say "We buy houses cash" on them at 2 a.m. in the morning, the freezing cold weather, and you're hoping that phone call will come.
Yeah, bandit signs. That's my strategy I'll never go. For me, it will never go away, but it is expensive. Again, it's $1. Again, if you look at it compared to what's it called, compared to texting's a penny, or less than a penny. So yeah, it is expensive.
Seller the next day or the next week doesn't come, and then you're trying for dollars, right? So if you get the picture I'm painting, a lot of real estate wholesalers suffer and quit because they're not focused. They're not focusing on one strategy, and they're becoming the jack of all trades and the master of none. And that's an issue. You got to focus on one thing at a time and become great at it. And so don't be the wholesaler that's running around like a chicken with their head cut off, doing all these different things, trying to get a deal, and then suffering and quitting at the end because you just weren't focused. What you want to do is focus on one system at a time, one marketing strategy at a time, one acquisition strategy. That's all you need. You want to do that, become great at it, and then what you can do is plug other people into the strategy that you're using to get wholesale deals, and then you can scale it and you systemize it, and now you can go on to the next strategy. Don't be the wholesaler who's focusing on way too many things and ends up suffering and quitting in this business.
So yeah, what I did, again, I did kind of fall into that trap where I was doing too many things at once, but then I kind of snapped back. You know what? Okay, let me just be successful. And yeah, my first deal was through what's it called, a C buyer, And then my second deal was through the USPS. And then my third deal was through the, what's it called? The power of attorney letter. But then also I stay consistent with the bandit signs. Even through that frame, I stay consistent through the bandit signs. So again, bandit signs is the easiest way to get calls in. Is the easiest ways to speak to sellers where they're wanting to sell the property to you. It's not cold marketing where you're calling them. No, it's warm marketing or hot marketing, because now they're calling you, so the stress it's not that much.
All right, now let's go to reason number 2, why most real estate wholesalers suffer and quit. So most wholesalers actually listen to what others say and take it literally. So one thing I always recommend for all my clients and students across the nation is that they attend Real Estate Investor Association meetings. And what these meetings are where real estate investors go to hang out. So wholesalers, flippers, there's hard money lenders, cash buyers, all walks of life who are interested in real estate investing, go and meet there. So it's a great place to network. But what you're gonna find when you go to these meetings is that there's gonna be like the top 1%, the people that are wholesaling and flipping 10 plus deals per month. But there's also gonna be the hobbyists.
Again, my issue with following the so-called the gurus or people online, they're making 300K a month, is that they don't tell you the overhead cost. Like, how much money did it take me, money, experience, and systems, did it take me to be able to collect the 300K? So if it's investor A, which is a brand new rookie, right? Compared to investor B, which is like 3 years into the business, investor A is seeing the guy selling 300K and closing 300K in assignment fees, and he's doing mailers. Oh, let's go ahead and mail. But he's not telling you, well, actually, my overhead's around 80K a month. That's between the marketing, that's between the people that are getting the calls, getting on the contract, how many failed contracts do I get, how many conversations do I get. So they're not telling you the full story. They're not telling, because of course it discourages people from actually even going to what's it called, to their seminars or getting the courses, etc. Because they're just telling you the beautiful story. Oh yeah, 300K, but they're not telling you that actually it's going to take you around 50 to 80K in marketing cost. It's going to take you maybe a couple of years of experience to be able to bat the cost correctly. It's going to take you probably a system to be able to, from first conversation to getting it closed. Like, it takes a long time. I'd rather than be honest. You know what? Yes, you might not be able, again, like they say, I know they probably have disclosures. What's it called? Results are not, what's it called? The word that they say, results are not common, or whatever the fuck they do. Just tell me, you know what? Stick to one story, stick to one type of strategy for 2 or 3 months. Don't pay me for any coaching yet. You're not there yet. You're not there at the level where I need to be able to go into from 50K a month to 100K a month. You're in the level, you're in the bottom level. So let's do it the simple way. Any money that goes out is for marketing. Marketing, you might want to get a course for being able to talk to clients. That shouldn't be more than maybe $200, $300, but not this $10,000 or $5,000 worth of coaching. You don't need coaching. You just need to do, again, one strategy, managed science for 6 months. One strategy, cold calling. Get the list and cold call. Learn how to cold call. That's all you gotta do. Again, and no, your results are not going to be typical to this guy's result, because these guys put in 80K worth of expenses as far as marketing to get deals, compared to your maybe $500 worth of expenses. Again, you can do it. Trust me, that's what I do. But again, I'm not going to have a 300K month, because I don't have a 300K month worth of marketing. As far as what it takes money to make money. Again, perfect example, PPCs. They're great. There's ISP to lead is great service. Again, where you basically a la carte, you just buy one lead, right? $300. But in order to be able to reach to a scale of maybe a 500K worth of deals, what's your cost of lead cost? If you have to maybe do 100 leads at $300,000 $300 a lead, that's $30,000 like you might not have, and that's just for the lead. Now the team that you got to have there to be able to call those leads. And not all those leads go at the first time. They might take it might take what's it called, 2 or 3 follow-ups to get it done. So you see all these variables that they add. So again, for me, if I was a brand new guy starting, just give me one strategy. Where should I spend my money as far as marketing, and send me out there. Again, I don't need anything as far as you selling me on 300K worth of business. I don't need that. And that's where the old gurus were being shedded on by the new guys, and now the new guys become the gurus. Again, they don't see their own, they don't smell their own shit when they're in the business, right? But yeah, that's what's happening. So going back to this, don't go by what they tell you when they're showing you again, people that are trying to 300K in a car, they're trying to sell you. They're trying to sell you the life so you can spend. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna go in there 5K market and 5K in mentorship, and then I'm gonna be successful. And it's not the way it's gonna happen. Again, I did that when I was earlier. Again, when I was probably like 10 years ago through Rich Dad Poor Dad. And yeah, all that I learned was my credit card limit went up, and then I had to pay it off. But it's tough. So yeah, going back to getting on my tangent, yeah, don't get blinded by, oh, 300K, I'm gonna do this. Oh, he's doing PPCs. Again, you can bankrupt yourself real quick if you're just starting and you have a personal job, you don't have that much money. 5K can go like this.
The people that go to every single meeting for years that have never done a deal. And what happens is most amateur wholesalers will go to these meetings and they'll talk to these hobbyists, they'll talk to the negative Nancys, the negative Nicks. And these people will ask them, what are you doing to get deals? And you may tell them that, exactly what you're doing to get deals, and guess what they'll say? That's way too hard, that doesn't work, that's competitive, no way, I've tried that, guess what? It doesn't work. What amateurs will do is literally take that information in and believe that to be true. But it isn't the case, right? If you just hear one thing from someone and it's hearsay and you believe it to be true, you're just not gonna be successful in this business. And then you'll start to believe that. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is hard, this is competitive. But you know what? Every market is competitive in real estate. Everything is hard. That's why it's worth it. And that's why the best are the ones who make money in this business. The best are the ones who are successful. What you want to do is actually talk to people who have been there and done that, who are actually getting the results that you want or have gotten those results before. And one thing a mentor told me that stuck with me over 10 years ago was that you want to trust but verify. And what he meant by that was when you're talking with someone.
I come from an auditor background. Yeah, you always trust but verify. Don't go, again, my parents taught me to not be naive. And sometimes we get naive. Why do we become naive? Because we're blinded by the cars, we're blinded by the money, we're blinded by the Instagram, we're blinded right now, especially now with social media, with the Instagrams, by the Facebook posts. Oh yeah, I want to have that life. But they don't tell you that it takes a lot. Like, everybody takes work, but again, they're painting you a beautiful, easy picture when it's not.
Someone at a networking event or a RIA meeting, you want to trust what they're saying. You're not going to come off condescending or rude, but you want to verify the facts for yourself. What is actually real. So you can be successful at wholesaling real estate, and you have to believe in that. And you can't believe in the naysayers, the negative Nancys, the negative Nicks, who are telling you that you can't make it happen, because you absolutely can. And we help thousands of wholesalers and flippers to be successful at this. So there's no reason why you can't do it. All right. So don't take what others say and take it literally. All right. Only listen to the people that have been there and done that, and the people that are getting the results that you want. Now let's go to reason number 3, why most real estate wholesalers suffer.
So just finishing up what he says. Yeah. Again, you got to be that person goes there to these meetings because you want to be around these people. But again, have the mentality, okay, everything that I hear here is going to take work. It's not going to just be from one day to the other. So I got to understand that. So again, for me, what I always tell people, any money that goes out in the beginning has to be towards marketing. If you have 5K, that's your seed money. They take you a couple of years to save, especially now with this. Again, it's hard to save, period, right? So if you save, 5K, that shouldn't go to a mentor. That should go straight into marketing. Again, pick the best marketing that you can and run with that. Don't try to pay 3K for a marketing because it doesn't work. You don't earn. You learn a little bit, but then you have no more marketing. So you have your theory, but you don't have no implementation. And you want to go backwards. You want to be able to do implementations. And like they say, you build your wings on the way down.
And it's because they use a broken system. So we have a lot of wholesalers who want to get started in this business reach out to us. And I can't tell you how many we ask, do you know the process of wholesaling? Do you know how it works? And the majority of them cannot tell us at a high level how wholesaling works. And if you're using a broken system, if you don't understand conceptually what you're doing, then what's going to happen is you may do step 1 or step 2, but step 3 comes around and you're stuck, right? You're lost, you're fumbling around. Also, there's a lot of wholesalers that get in this business and don't understand what strategy they're using to get deals. There's a lot of wholesalers that don't understand how many phone calls it takes to get a deal or how many offers it takes to get a deal. And so if you don't have a system in place that's repeatable, that's actionable, that each day you can take action on.
Again, like for me, when I started being consistent with bandit signs, it's like, okay, 20 bandit signs a week, that's 100 bandit signs, 25 bandit signs a week, that's 100 bandit signs a month. How many calls am I getting? Okay, I'm getting, let's say 2 calls a week. Well, how many calls does it take to convert that leading to a contract? And then how many contracts does it take to get the contract into closing, because it doesn't, not every contract goes to and into actual closing. One of the things that I would have liked to have learned earlier rather than later was being able to, again, I come from, my background is what's it called, managing. I used to work for a lending company, so I kind of knew how to talk to clients. But the closing rate, again, I was a lender, so I don't have to close you because you want to borrow. So if I would have had the Shutupmoney, the guts system earlier, as far as when I get a conversation, my conversion rate would have been much higher, because I would have known how to be able to bring the emotion out on a client. Again, being able to control and react to objections much easier, much faster. And that's one only thing that I can tell you. If you are going to invest in something, invest in how to close clients. Don't invest. And again, it's not expensive. Trust me. Again, Justin's system, it's super reachable, accessible, and you have a whole team of people that help you out. That's the main, because if anything, like you tell anything, if you know how to sell, you'll never go hungry. Because if you know how to sell, you can sell anything. So that's one of the biggest things that I wish I would have had 4 years ago. Being able to close clients, being able to ask the tough questions, being able to be the closer that I needed to be, that I've learned so far to be. So this one, going back to this point, yeah, you gotta have a system of tracking. You gotta track everything from how many, again, for me, it was easy. It was $100 worth of marketing. I was posting my own bandit signs at night. So it was just marketing. Again, put it in the bandit signs and went for a call. I got an isolated number. I didn't even have my personal, a physical phone. My phone was through what's it called, a smart line, which is smart, was through what's it called, GoDaddy. I used to get a smart line through my iPhone, so the calls will come through there. Eventually, after it became good where I started making money, then I ported out the number and I got a physical phone for that's my business line, and I've had it for 3 years already.
And then understand the result you're trying to get, then you're really using a broken system and you're just throwing darts into the wind. You're not throwing it at a dartboard. You're not going to hit your bullseye. And that's why in our program, Pro Wholesaler, we use the MLS offer system, because we can send offers on a daily basis on deals that are on the market, that are distressed, they're going to be wholesaled, and it doesn't cost any money to send these offers. Doesn't cost any.
Again, I guess he's promoting his program, right? Right now, it's a good thing to have to send offers on MLS to owner finance deals. Again, you can send it to realtors as well, because the rates are super crazy. 8.6% on an average. In my area, the average credit, it's around 500. So only the top ones. Again, that if you want to quantify how many people have a credit of 700 plus, it's probably like 5% of the community. So it's rare now as people to qualify. Not only because maybe the qualifications are low, but the interest rates is high, so they're basically their buying power has shrunk a lot, by almost 30-40%. So going back to that, now that we're doing it, like I told Justin on the other Zoom call, I'm gonna start doing lease options, learning lease options, because that's gonna be the way where I can talk to these clients that have been sitting on the house for, again, this is where the conversation comes with the client. Why are you selling? If they say, well, I'm just selling it, well, why? Again, right now, no one's going to buy your property. Again, to be honest with you, again, at 2%, it was great, but at 8%, there's no way people are going to qualify, especially in my area. Again, there's where the gut comes in. You bring data, and then you tell them, well, why you want to sell it? Again, it sounds like the house is pretty good. Again, what's the reason for selling? The neighborhood is good. There's no issue. Again, you can play around and list it. It's going to be tough to sell it. This is when you ask the tough questions to bring out the real reason why they want to sell. And then once you find out the real reason why they want to sell, then that's where the emotion comes in. Well, I have 2 houses. I have 2 mortgages. Oh, I'm going to get it off. I'm going to get transferred. Once you ask those real questions, okay, you know what? Like yesterday, they had a Zoom call where the guy said, well, I had 30 calls and they're just people giving me low offers, et cetera, et cetera. He's like, well, what do you want, sir? They were doing role plays. He's like 175. I would have said sold. Sold, yeah. Who do I send the contract to? Like, what do you mean sold? Yeah, 175. Okay, perfect. Well, send me the contract. Okay, now let's figure out how I'm gonna pay you that 175,000. What do you mean? Like, yeah, I'll give you your price, but now let's figure out how do I pay you that 175? Is it gonna be cash? Is it gonna be terms? Because again, then he needs to know that there's his objection as far as nobody giving him their price, it's gone. I'm giving you your price, 175, sir. So don't treat me like others. I'm not lowballing you. I'm giving you your price, and I'm gonna give you a little bit more. Because remember, you can buy anything if the terms make sense. I can buy $1 million house for $30 million if I can only pay $1 a month. You're paying $29 million over. Yeah, but it's gonna be $1 a month. I can cash flow it. I make money. Remember, as long as if you're gonna be like the lease or the wraps, as long as you make cash flow, it makes sense. You can pay retail and still make money if the cash flow's there. So again, and I couldn't get on the call. I couldn't again, everybody was talking, so I couldn't get this what I've done. If the guy said, like, whoa, again, everyone's lowballing me, they're telling me this, etc. You know what? Okay. Well, how much do you want, sir, for it, sir? Okay, 175. Okay, perfect. What's your email? He said, what do you mean perfect? Yeah, sold 175. What's your email? He said, so you're just buying it for 175? Yeah. What's your email? Okay. Okay, now let's figure out how do I pay you that money. He said, what do you mean? So you see, now they're beyond their objection as far as nobody giving their price, 175. Okay, now how do I pay you that money? It's gonna be in 5 years, it's gonna be in 1 year, it's gonna be cash, if it's gonna be terms, it's gonna be maybe a down payment and then an owner finance. Again, but that main objection is gone. That he's never heard yes to his price. So I'm giving you a yes to your price. Now give me the terms. And he said, well, no, I don't want that. Well, so which one do you want? Do you want your price or do you want cash? Because if you want your price, I'm giving it to you. But if you want cash, I can't give you the 175 because I'm in the same pool as the other guys. So I'm giving you your price. That was the main reason that you were upset. I'm giving you your price. Now let's figure out what can we do to pay you that money. That's what I would do. And then again, and then maybe he says no, but again, at least you overcome that main objection. You know what? In order to separate myself from the pool of people, that 60 calls that he said that he's had, that people are giving him the low offers, I'm gonna give you a yes. And then once I give you a yes, how do I pay you that
money to get these deals and to find them? Whereas a lot of beginners are spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 in marketing every single month, and then still not understanding the whole entire process and funneling through those leads and wasting a lot of money in the process. And so the cool thing about the MLS offer system is that we know on a nationwide average, about 1 in every 15 offers you send on a distressed house, you're gonna get that deal under contract and be able to wholesale it and make about $10,000 on it. And so if you just do 1 offer a day, that's 30 offers in a month. You'll get
that's kind of a little bit misleading because now if I was a brand new, oh, really? I can send 30 offers and get 2 deals? Oh, shit, I'm gonna do that. It's not, no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. That's probably once you're like maybe like 8 to 10 months into the business and you know that works. After you, let's say, maybe the first 6 months you didn't get no deals, for 30 offers, you didn't get no deals, 30 offers, you didn't get no deals, but then the next 6, 7, 8 months, you sent 30 offers and you got 3 deals, and you sent 30 offers and you got 4 deals. So you see how at the front load business is not gonna work as much as the back load business. Basically, in your learning curve is not gonna be as great as your average and when you learn a lot of things as far as calling and et cetera and talk to clients. So again, this is kind of misleading. This is what I don't like. Because again, if I was a brand new investor, oh shit, I'm gonna buy his course. Just send 30 offers a month and get 2 deals. That's 10K, that's 20K. How much is your course? 5K. Okay, if I do 5K, it's free the marketing. I can just send them. Oh, just paying the 5K. Where do I swap my credit card? You know what I mean? Like what they're playing. They're playing to your emotions as far as 30 offers for free, and I can get 2 deals. Oh shit, 5K for your program? Oh no, yeah, perfectly.
2 deals from that.
Sorry,
$20,000. And that's what I mean. A lot of real estate wholesalers are using a broken system where they can't break it down like that. And this is what you need to do in business. This is what the best of the best do. You have a goal and you break it down. You understand your daily, weekly, monthly actions to be able to hit your goal. And
yeah, but you need to understand also as far as what he says. Yeah, that's basically what you need to do. But again, it's hard as your learning curve goes to be able to align. Because yeah, if you have a goal of 30 things that you're going to do, if you're just starting the business, I'm guaranteeing you out of those 30 things, you probably do like 10, because it's a learning curve to be coming from a 9-to-5 employee to a business owner. It's totally different. It's a total mind change. You got to be real diligent. That's what they said, the Pareto law, I think, whatever you call it, 80-20. Out of 100 people, only 20% will actually be successful, or even less.
And so that's what we help a lot of our students to be able to do. And so if you're a real estate wholesaler right now and you don't know exactly what you need to do today to get the next deal, then take a step back, evaluate what you're doing, and break it down. Have a system in place, and then work on that system. Now, reason number 4, why most real estate wholesalers suffer and quit. So most wholesalers do not understand that failure is really just feedback. And this is important for...
That's one of the things that I would have loved to have done earlier, is being able to record my calls. Again, I was calling from the, now I know how to record my calls, even through the phone, as long as I'm next to a computer. But yeah, recording your calls and seeing what you say, hearing what you say, it's always the best thing to be able to learn. Again, having the critique, and don't be afraid, oh, they're being an asshole. Do you want me to be an asshole and help you make money, or you want me to be a nice guy and not help him make money and just take your money? No, yeah, be an asshole, but teach me how to make money.
More than just wholesaling real estate, guys. This is for life in general, for business. And so let me give you an example. So
again, going back to this, just before he continues, I don't know what he's gonna say next, but like for me, my plan for this year was to double my what's it called, my bandit signs. But again, I didn't do it. I kept the 25 bandit signs a week. Again, because I started, my other legs started making money as well. So again, I just kept it with the, again, it's only me and one VA consistent, and another VA sometimes comes or not. So I'm picking up the calls, I'm doing all the outbound, I'm doing all the follow-ups. So yeah, feedback wise, you need to learn, okay, 10 bandit signs consistently over the year will give me 100 calls. Okay, those, again, this is where, that's the best way to learn. You get a big chunk of data, not just a month. You get a whole year's of data. Okay, and this is where you record. And easy. You don't have to be getting a system. Just do it on an Excel sheet. Okay, this month, this week, go by weekly. This week, or even when you're driving, Monday through Sunday, right? Monday I got 2 calls, 1 call, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. So let's say for the week I got 7 calls. Did I get any deals? No. So perfect. And then if you do it over the whole year, if you record on a template, okay, at the end of the year, I got 100 calls. And out of those 100 calls, I got what's called 10 deals or 5 deals. Well, how many deals will actually close? Or I closed only 2 deals. So that's 80% of the whole, that's what's called, if I got 10 deals, but I only closed 2, that's 20%. So that means if I want to, let's say nothing changes, well, if I only put 100 bandit signs, let me double it to 200 bandit signs a month. And I'm hoping that ratio jumps to 200 calls for the year. And instead of being 2 deals for the year, it's going to be 4 years for the year. So again, that's how you have a big data chunk. That's how you know you can improve. And trust me, one of the things that I always tell, and I preach all the time, learn how to close calls. Because I can give you 100 leads, but if you suck at closing, you're going to just waste your money. My money.
There's a lot of people starting out in wholesaling real estate that will submit one offer on a property that they want to buy or get under contract. And then guess what? That offer doesn't get accepted or gets rejected. And then that person will be like, oh my gosh, I failed. You know, this didn't work out. This is hard, or this isn't for me. What we need to understand is,
fall in love with the no. That's what you want to get. No. Okay. Well, I'll follow up with you. Again, it's going to be a warm follow.
all that happened was that you just got feedback on the way towards your goal. And feedback is completely necessary in the wholesaling industry. If you want to be successful, you need to be continually learning. So every single offer you send that doesn't work out, that's a learning opportunity for you to ask, what could I have done better? What could I have said differently? You know, who else could I have sent this deal to? There's a lot of questions you can ask yourself to continually improve. And it was actually a good friend of mine that shared with me that failure is actually a myth. And so I asked him, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, most people
I love
will
how he
work.
throws little things like that, because that's how I love the new mentality of everything's going to be successful and nothing's a failure and just push through it. Yes, that's a lot of what's called word salad that looks good and feels good to the people that are sucking at business, right? But we also need to go back to what's called, maybe it's not for you, to our old people like the Rockefellers and the Carnegies, getting the raw feedback. Because now everybody wants to, oh no, don't worry, failure is just a myth, and you can push through it. Again, sometimes failure is failure. And sometimes you need to know maybe this business is not for you, bro.
Work towards their goals. And when they have a setback or an obstacle comes, they'll stop working towards their goal, and then they'll call that a failure. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, I failed. You know, that was hard, that didn't work. So it's a myth because
I'll be like,
most
yeah,
people
you fucked up, bro. You sucked there. I'm not gonna say, oh, that's failure is just one step closer to success. Bullshit.
use quitting with failure. So you're either going to work towards your goals if it's wholesaling 5 houses a month.
And this again, going back to what I say, you need to be hungry. And if you can't put yourself in a position like, man, I gotta close this deal to feed my family, If you can't put yourself mentally in that position, fast. Fast for 5 days while you're doing this. Physically feel the pain of hunger, and then match that pain that your body's feeling of hunger with real estate. I had to close a fucking deal to be able to feed myself, that I feel physically, I feel hungry, because it's hard. Like when I started this business, again, I didn't start from where I need to close it to eat. So it's kind of hard to put my back against the wall and be like, oh, if I don't close this deal, I'm gonna basically not eat. So it's kind of hard to put yourself in that. And one of the hacks that I learned, you know what? When you feel like you're being comfortable, fast for 3 to 5 days. See how your body feels, and then match that energy, that physical feeling of being hungry. Put it in the context like, this is why I need to close more deals, because I don't want to feel this no more. And that should be, again, throughout your lifetime as being an entrepreneur. You want to physically put in a position like, man, I feel fucking hungry. Because sometimes it's hard to be able to tell your brain, I'm hungry for this business. It's hard. So in a way to push you over towards being hungry is physically fast. See how you will react to physically being hungry, physically like feeling like you're dying. Because trust me, after the second day of not eating, trust me, your body's like, oh shit, I'm really hungry.
First deal, set that goal and then make it happen, work towards it. And that path to get that goal isn't going to be straight and narrow, right? It may go up, down. You may have to adjust, get feedback, and iterate and improve. And so if you take that, if you hone this into your life, into your business for wholesaling real estate, every single relationship, networking event, offer, phone call, and you take that as feedback, then you'll have that learner's mindset. You'll always be learning and you'll always improve, and you'll be successful no matter what, because nothing's going to hold you back. So this is why a lot of wholesalers suffer and quit. It's because they don't understand that failure really is just feedback. All right. Now let's get into reason number 5, why most real estate wholesalers suffer and quit. And it's because they find houses first instead of cash buyers. All right. So let's dive into this one. I actually got a whiteboard over here I want to bring out.
Let's see what he says before I critique it.
I love my big whiteboards.
All right, let's get this.
So most amateur wholesalers, they suffer and quit because they'll find houses first instead of cash buyers. And let me explain why this is not optimal. So here's how it normally looks, right? So this wholesaler, they'll get a random house under contract. Doesn't matter where, what city, what state, it'll be completely random. And they'll get that under contract to wholesale. Then what they'll do is they'll market the contract to random cash buyers. It's only after the fact, after they get a deal, will they start to find cash buyers. And so now they're scrambling around, they're running around like crazy, trying to find these cash buyers. They have a deal under contract that's 7 or 14 days that they need to wholesale. And now they're talking to these cash buyers like, hey, I got this deal. You got to come out to the property. You got to make it happen. And they're starting off the relationship on that foot. And they don't even know if this deal's going to work for the cash buyer as well, right? Because it's a random cash buyer. And so then they hope they're random.
So there is some truth to what he is saying, but also know this: if the deal is good, the buyers will come. Now, part of what I do on Fridays is that I tell people you got to have a market domination. You got to know your market like it's like the back of your hand. So again, when you're first starting, like how do I, well, Ace, I'm just starting this business, bro. How do I know what it's working or not? Again, learn. Like for me, I had to learn Zillow. Even though most people use I don't pay for services because again, I'm trying to teach others how I was taught. I taught myself as far as no overhead cost or the lowest overhead cost as possible. So what I do is learn Zillow. So for me in my area, if 6 months ago, because now it's crazy. 6 months ago, if Zillow was at 100, if I can get it at, well, there's a Zillow and there's the county appraisal district's value. So let's say Zillow was at 100 and the county appraisal district was at 70. If I bought that property close to 70 or below, it was a deal. Because again, those were my metrics. Zillow, CAD value, under close to the CAD value or below it, it was a deal. So that's how I target clients. So again, and I knew if I got that deal, it was a deal because that's where things were selling. Now, how do I know if it's going to be or not the Ace? When you look at Zillow and look at the solds, look at the area, look at what in that area when you put your address, what has sold in the area. Zillow gives you some information. Sometimes are non-disclosure states, but look at the previous solds and maybe you don't know anything else, but it'll tell you what was the last list. If it was a pending deal and then it was a sold, look at the last, what's it called, the last pending number as far as how much it was sold, it was selling for. That will tell you, okay, it was selling for this much. It probably sold for this much, but maybe a little bit less. It was listed for 150 and it's now removed. It probably sold for like 145. And then you reverse, okay, 145, cookie cutter, what's it called, a lot at 6K square feet, okay. cookie cutter, what's it called, square footage of the house, 1,200 square feet, fully remodeled. Okay, that's your prime, that's your top of the market sales price. Fully remodeled house, 200 square feet, 6K, what's it called, lot, sold for 150. So, and then you look at the CAD value. Look at the county appraisal district value. If the CAD value is at 80, oh shit, and Silo was like 110, that's your metrics to be able to find a new deal. Find a deal that looks like that you know is 1,200. Okay, my house is 200 square feet. This one that was sold was 1,200. Okay, lot size more or less the same. Okay, what are my main driving areas? Okay, this is my main expressway. This is 2 miles from the expressway, so this is 2 miles from the expressway, so it's gonna kind of match. So if I get this deal, the condition is fully remodeled, and this is not, it's fair, but it's not fully remodeled. Okay, if I buy it for this price, I can more or less sell it probably for like, if I get it for 70, I kind of price district, I can possibly for 90. And someone comes in, puts 20, 30K into it and sells it for 150. That's how I learned more or less how to do appreciation. And remember, this is where having the guts comes in, because let's say you lock it up for 70 and you put it out there and you put it out for 90, right? How do you put it out there? Right now, especially, again, Facebook Marketplace is there. Put a picture of the backyard and then put it there. There's Facebook groups for that. Again, you go to the RIA meetings if you have one locally, or go to the what's it called, learn where your county's foreclosure auctions are at, and just get numbers, right? Or have a picture of the house. And you want to do even better, have a picture of the house that you had, like a ghost lead, and put it out there, and then have the feedback when they're calling you back to the buyers. Like, oh shit, okay. And then now you know more or less where the buyers are at, and you get their numbers. That's why, again, you reverse engineer everything. So yeah, it's true where he says like, find the buyer first, and then it's like a reverse wholesaling. First, find the buyer, what he buys at, and what range, and then reverse engineer it. But again, for me, I'm gonna spend marketing on trying to get a deal instead of finding a buyer first. That's just me.
Random cash buyers want the random house. There's a lot of hope going on. There's a lot of uncertainty. And as far as I know,
Remember,
I've been building
guys,
business.
Where do investors want to buy and sell and resell their houses? Where people live. So if it's out in the boonies, trust me, it's gonna be hard. But it's if you know your own area. Okay, you know there's a local market here, there's a Walmart here, there's a restaurant here. You know what? That's the area where people live. So where people live, people are gonna try to buy a house, flip it, and then do the same thing again. So that's kind of, where do I buy? Where do I find a deal? Where people live, where people work. So don't make it complicated. Where people work, where people
they don't know any of this, right? And it doesn't mesh. It doesn't work well.
Again, one thing, if you want to know what's it called, who's buying, again, you got to be intentional in everything that you do. What do I mean intentional? When you're driving to, let's say you're still working, when you're driving for work, again, I always say driving for dollars, at least try to get 5 properties a day, right? If you do that, and if you see, if you're driving and you see a garbage bin, the 30-foot garbage bin, or whatever you call it, stop by. This is where the gut comes in. Get out of your feelings of you like, what the fuck is it? Just get out. Hey, well, yeah, I'm just driving nearby. Who's the builder here? He's like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, who's the owner of the property? And most likely the workers there will give, oh, it's Robert, and they'll give you their number. Why? Because you want to call him, hey, Mr. X, I drove by one of your flips. How's it going? He's like, yeah, okay. I might have something like that in a few months. Can I send you to you when I get it? Like, yeah. Because you're basically going to an active construction, again, not a new construction, a flip where you know that, oh, they're tearing down the sheetrock, and they're tearing down the yard, and they put it in the trash bins. Those are the active flippers. So when you're driving, you intentionally are not only looking for houses, but you're looking for people that are actually flipping, so you can stop and ask. Maybe you catch the flipper there. If not, the employees. And then the employees are assholes, they don't give you the number, you stop on the way there. When you drive by, oh, okay, let me drive by through that flip and see if that's flipping. Because mind you don't know anything as far as how to track them. Because if you knew, you can go to the county appraisal district and you can go look for the address and then look at the county records and see who bought it. But again, if you don't know that, just physically go there and ask.
There's a lot of hope, there's a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of randomness. And so what happens now is that this wholesaler will now hope their random cash buyers want the random house, right? And so
again, if you look at, he's trying to sell you a system. So again, let's cut to the BS.
this particular wholesaler, they may have built a list of thousands of cash buyers and have their email, but can't put a face to a name. And so they're just blasting it out. Once again, there's a randomness. It's a shotgun approach. You don't know if the deal's going to work. And now this wholesaler, well, they hope to maybe get paid a wholesale fee. And so
I remember part of the guts that I forgot to make this point is asking for a discount. And I make it a habit. I make it a policy in my business to always ask for a discount. Once you lock it up at the lowest price, I always ask for a discount, because maybe you get, because basically let's say, you know what, if I don't get this discount, I don't pay marketing. Because all you want to do is $1,000 of discount or $3,000. Hey, Mr. X, I know I bought it for 80. After several inspections that I've done, again, my construction guy and my money guy, they want to be at 70. Let's say the house is worth 150. That's a pretty good discount. He's like, yeah, but I know it's gonna be tough for you. Give me a 70K discount. And I want to make this deal work, but can you help me out a little bit with the price? He's like, well, you locked it up with 80, and I wanted to sell it at 80, buyer, but I can't really move. Like, I know, can you help me out? Just, again, anything will help me. It'll convince my guys that I'm doing the right job. Can you help me out? Can you sell it for me at 75? He's like, no, you know what? Can you do something for me? Trust me. If you ask 3 times 75, and then, you know what? Can you do 78? And they'll probably agree. 2K. For them, the 80K purchase, the 80K that you're getting, 2K is not that big of a difference. But like for us, if we're getting a 10K wholesale assignment, now you're getting 12. What's that? Almost 30%, 20% of a profit increase. But for them, if you do the math, they give you a 2K discount, what's 2K divided by 80,000? They give you a 2% discount. But for you, 2,000 divided by 10, you just increase your profit by 20%. You see how for them it's 2%, it's nothing. But for us, like, oh shit, it went up, and then you use that money for.
So let me show you what the winners do. Let's do this. Oh, we got
here we come.
realestateskills.com official whiteboard. Gotta love this technology. Here we go. All right. So this is why the pros succeed at wholesaling. So the winning approach is that we find our cash buyers first. And let me share why this is optimal. So when you find your cash buyers first, what you're able to do is know your cash buyers' exact buying criteria. Because now you can actually talk to your cash buyer, understand what zip codes they're buying in, what price ranges they like to buy in, what's their bread and butter, do they like 3-bed, 2 baths, or do they like 2 ones that are 800 square feet that they add square footage to, right? So you can actually talk to your cash buyers.
So yeah, that is, again, going back, that is smart to find cash buyers first, but you can do, again, for me, do the marketing, and when you're driving for dollars, which is free, because everybody works from point A to point B. Everybody. I was working. So when you work, so if you're working, when you're driving and looking for people, for houses, and if you see a builder, stop there. So you're trying to kind of building your buyers list as well. I wouldn't stop until, don't market it until you get a cash buyer. I wouldn't do that, because again, you might just quit because I can't find a fucking, I can't talk and get a buyer to give me his exact credentials as far as what he wants to, what he flips at, or what type of properties he flips.
Find exactly what they want, and now you can find the exact types of properties your cash buyers want, because you know exactly what they want. And now this allows you to wholesale houses with predictability, because now you can put a round peg into a circle hole. Now it will mesh.
Again, remember, predictability is, if it's a good deal, the buyers will come. Trust me. If it's a good deal, the buyers will come, no matter what, no matter if you're a newbie or an old seasoned investor.
And what you need to do is think of your cash buyer like your customer. What does your customer want? And now once you find out that information, you can now find the exact property.
Once you get that first deal locked up and sold, you'll know what, oh, you know what, if this guy is there, you ask yourself, is this investor, the flipper that bought my property, is there others? You go to the courthouse. Oh shit, there's a lot of people here. So again, the market's there.
Properties that they want, and it will fit like a glove every single time. Now this allows you to wholesale houses with predictability and confidently cash your wholesale checks. So there's nothing that's going to be lost in translation when we find our cash buyers first instead of a deal and get under contract. Now this cash buyer, we already have rapport with them.
Yeah, you fast forward, he's selling you his product. Okay, so what's up, Vic? So yeah, this is basically, again, he had some truth to what he was saying. For me, don't pay for any guru, pay for marketing, learn how to talk to clients over the phone. As you find a deal, the buyers will get there. Learn your market, dominate your market by slowly learning it. And once you learn it, expand. Learn your market like if it's the back of your hand. And trust me, it doesn't have to be that big of a market. If you keep your overhead low, and you just make 10 deals at let's say 15K, that's 150K a year. That's doctor salary. So yeah, what's going on, Vic?
What's up, man?
What's up, my guy? So I was just talking about that. I was reacting to that video as far as the top reasons why people fail at this business. I was just saying, okay, yeah, it's true. Like he had some truth to what he's saying, but of course he was selling his course after the back end. So I was like, okay, yeah, you're telling me. That's why I tell people, there's people tell you really nice words to sell you to, like what we do to the sellers as far as their emotional selling, they're doing to us emotional buying. So I like be aware of that stuff. What's going on, my brother? How's your week going?
Going good. How's your week going? I heard you're going into lease options now.
Yes, that's gonna be my next. Well, because it's coming, right? And I know some of these deals what might not work for a wrap. Why? Because maybe I don't want to be in the middle. Because again, if I get, let's say, if I get 30 deals, let's say my hope for next year, 20 deals are owner finance deals. And I do get, now I have started, and the next year get me more wraps. That means I got to control 20 wraps. It's like, that's a lot of, for me, for myself, it's a lot of like work. Oh shit, I got to make sure this guy pay me, this guy pay me, this guy pay me. So that's why the lease option sounds more attractive, because why? You're just getting a fee. I don't want to be in the middle. You're selling it for 100. I'm going to sell it to this guy at 120. I collect the middle fee, and then I'm out. With the price, I'm selling it at close to retail price with as is, and I'm just collecting a fee. I'm not being in the middle. Okay, I would like to be in the middle when it's a big chunk of money and a big chunk of equity. But when there's no equity, I don't want to be in the middle controlling everything. And that's why I want to learn the lease option. So like, how do I get a fee for connecting client A to client B and having their money, their transaction done? Okay, I'll help you do this transaction. I just get a small fee. That's why I want to learn these options, because I don't want to be in the middle in all these deals that it don't.
When you say learn lease option, what do you mean by learn lease option? Like
how to do it? I've never structured a lease option before. All my deals that I have where I'm owner financing them, they're wraps. Basically, I know how to take a deed over, and I know how to subject to it as far as the same thing, and I know how to wrap it. But that means I'm in the middle, because I built equity. I built equity, right? But when it's a lease option, let's say the house is worth 100 and I'm selling it for 110, there's no equity there. Why would I put myself at risk to be in the middle for so long? You know what I mean? So I'd rather just connect A and B, collect the fee, and then I'm step out.
Right. So what you're doing, I think, is wholesaling lease option, right? You're not staying in the middle. It's just sandwich lease.
Yeah, because in Texas, you can't do that. You can't.
Right.
You can do a wrap, but you can't stay in the middle, because I don't know what Nick was saying. You can't stay in the middle on a lease. It's not looked upon nice.
Yeah. I think Justin also has like 2 more documents that you need to sign when you find the lease option buyer. So there's 2 more. He has it included in his sheet. So if you want to look that over.
Yeah, I haven't in marketing. I know it's coming, but I need to. Sorry, I cut you off. I need to set up the website, set up my Facebook, set up my all my GMB, so I can make sure that I get the right marketing for it. I want to do it before the end of the month, or hopefully by the end of the year.
The website's pretty easy to. You just copy and paste your template websites, right? Yeah.
All I gotta do and just switch the names to lease up my. I already bought the domain, which is the easiest one.
Right.
So it's just a matter of just reverse engineering what I have on my regular I buy houses website to a lease option.
Yeah, you can look at Justin's website, just copy and paste whatever Justin has.
Yeah. What is his website? I didn't even know he had one.
Oh, I think it's like our team buys houses or something like that. There's in a YouTube video, there's Justin and one of the guts people, Hugo, I think, they built a website together too. So they also have a whole video where they went and they just created a template website they basically copied Justin's website and then they made a Google Sites. So you can and they did that in like an hour. So you can do it, or a VA can just watch the video and copy that website, and you have a lease option website.
Okay. Yeah, so that's gonna be my next step for that. But yeah, man, what are you doing in real estate? I know you had done changed a little bit to what's it called doing the shorts.
Yeah. We're focusing on the agency, but we're still calling people for the
Okay.
lease option stuff. And also I think REI Reply just updated something that you might want to do. So they're switching over from Twilio to something called Lead Connector. Have you heard of that?
I don't know. Fill me in, brother. I don't know what. That's kind
Yeah.
of weird, but yeah.
So basically Twilio has been having those like those it's like spam errors and code errors and stuff like that. So sometimes people are getting locked out of their accounts too. There's a lot of horror stories going on right now. Some people are
Okay.
getting banned, shut down for the past few weeks. It's because of Twilio.
Yeah.
So REI Reply and Go High Level, because REI Reply is part of Go High Level, they switched into something called Lead Connector. So what they're doing now is that you won't get banned, and it's automatic, and it's also 10% cheaper. So that's going to be good for you.
What do you mean automatic?
So so instead of getting blocked, there's automatic filters that they have in place to prevent you from getting your account blocked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of it's just Twilio, because Twilio has to go all through these like regulations. And then now that REI Reply has switched over to Lead Connector, they're bypassing all that stuff, because all that stuff just mainly applies to Twilio and its regulations.
So do we have to do anything as a user?
You have to press a few buttons to switch over to Lead Connector.
Okay.
But there's like a video. It's only a 5-10 minute video, and I think you only have to press like a few buttons or something like that. I actually have to go manually do it because I just watched the video this morning. But it's recent, like it's like a 1 week or 1, 2, 3 days ago update.
Okay.
But it also saves you 10%. So 10% for you could be a lot, and it's only a few buttons.
Okay. Yeah, I need to figure. If you can send me a link to that video so I can see it.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah. So I think that benefits a lot more people that are doing like 3,000 or 4,000 at a month, a week, right?
Yeah, and also
more lead sources.
there's just in case people are getting spammed, because
Yeah.
a lot of people, you and me, we are a little bit more technical than most people, because most people are way not technical at all. They don't change their text messaging at all. They don't even update their messaging. They just send the same message for like 6 months straight, and they wonder why they get blocked.
Yeah.
Like they don't even change anything. It's like, okay, for the people that are not technical, please change and watch your like failure rate so you don't get blocked. But if you don't change it often, then you go switch over to Lead Connector, because it's gonna really help. First, it's gonna help you save 10%, and then the second thing is that it's gonna prevent you from getting blocked and having issues and a bunch of stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people were getting blocked out and banned and losing their numbers and getting charged $200, $300, $400, $500 in fees that they never had. I think even Twilio is charging you fees, right? It charged you some weird fees for like $50, $60 that you don't even know where it came from.
Yeah, I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah, so Twilio has like really weird fees and stuff like that. So changing over to Lead Connector is going to be very good.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'll do that. What was I gonna ask you? So let's say worst case scenario that you do get banned. All you gotta do, you get banned on Twilio, right?
Yeah, you get banned on Twilio,
So you lose your numbers. That's one of the worst things, that you lose your numbers.
You lose your whole entire Twilio account, I think.
So and you cannot.
So all your numbers, all your numbers, all access, and I think some people, even in this group, our group, they've like lost like $200, $300, $400, and all their numbers were wiped. And what happened was that they weren't able to access those numbers again. And so, like, let's say they had like a 6-week follow-up campaign, and then people started to actually reply to them, right? Because the thing automatically drips. They lost all that data.
Yeah.
All that work.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's gonna make you pull your hair out. So don't let that happen to you guys. Switch over.
Yeah, definitely. I'll look into that. Send me that email, that video link. Yeah, that's smart. And it's cheaper, so it's just a matter of setting it up. It would have been better if they just automatically switch you.
Yeah.
Without telling me, just switch me over. So when you switch, you keep your numbers, right?
You can port your numbers, I believe. Yes.
Okay. Now I might do that for again, because next year what I'm doing, that's what I was talking to a guy. I was getting a new list next year. That is around probably like around for the whole year, probably like around 70K records, 70,000 records.
Mhm.
So I was like 70,000 records right now. If I keep it consistent, 300 records a day times, let's say 365, let's do 320. So yeah, if I keep it consistent, I can get a whole new list for the whole year, 70K. But that list is fucking expensive. It's $28,000.
$28,000 for 70K leads?
The records, because it's an authentic. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a new it was what's it called, from one of my mentorships that I had just closed it. I had it for 8 months. What's it called? Authentic. What they do is like kind of like they geotag, geomap. They do their technical back stuff, and then what they do, they sell you the list for your area.
Oh, okay.
So basically, they're doing, and I'm getting a demo. Hopefully next week on Thursday. So basically, what they do is I don't know. This is what I'm assuming. They kind of look at other parameters, okay, pre-foreclosures or all this kind of things. So they give you a hottest list of people with potential to sell. They're not ready to sell, but they have potential to sell. So they're selling you that list. So the reason why it's $28,000 because at the front end they have to create the algorithm to match your area. They do it. I'm pretty sure it's just BS. But they say we're gonna put your demographics in your area and whatever, and then we're gonna try to see, okay, what are the hires, the last 100 sold, what was the triggers for tax or taxes?
You're not buying it for 28K though, right? You got like a steep discount.
No, I wish it was. It's 25K the discount. It's only $2,000 discount. But this is how I'm gonna again, emotional bias first, and if you get emotional, and then you rationalize it. Okay. So next year, based on what I'm doing with my bandit signs, they're staying up. Thank God, they've been up for so long. Maybe next year, and I still have the bandit signs from that I bought this year. I still have probably like 800 bandit signs in my storage, so I don't have to buy new bandit signs. So I mean, it's okay. So if I don't buy new bandit signs, okay, where else can I save? So if and then let's say I don't pay my VA no more for a year, right? So basically it's gonna be just $240 for one VA and just the texting. So then the texting is gonna be $150 a month, right? So it's $240 for the VA that does my scraping, and $150 for my monthly, right? So if you multiply that, this is how I'm rationalizing it. So let's say it's 240 plus 150 times 12. Because remember, I don't need no bandit signs anymore. That is $4,600 a month, a year, right? So that means that if I do buy it for 25,000 divided by 12, that means I'm spending $2,000 more, $2,000 more in a month. So I'm paying what, like $2,300 a month in overhead. So
wouldn't your technically, because you're spending already $700 average per month right now, right?
No, well, right now I will reduce it to $300 a month, or like because there's gonna be no more VA cold calling. There's gonna be no bandit signs anymore. So you know what I mean? I'm keeping everything else except the cold caller and the bandit signs, which were my most expensive ones. My cold caller, if I was doing it consistently, I was paying him close to $700 a month. If I do, you're finally
letting him go.
Well, no, yeah, I finally am, because if I'm switching to this,
yeah,
then I don't need cold calls. Maybe I do my own cold calls, or maybe
does it give you, besides the demo, how many leads is it going to give you in the demo?
In the first, I think once they do the algorithm, the first chunk of leads is going to be 40,000.
It's going to give you 40,000 leads for free.
The first chunk of leads
for free.
No. Oh no. I had to pay the 20K. 25K, shit. Right? It's upfront cost, 25K. Once I pay the 25K for the leads, they have their programmer do whatever they got to do, and then within whatever time it takes to get the 40K, they'll send me the 40K leads. And then every quarter they update it. So he says that every quarter you probably get like 30% leads new ones. So you keep, let's say they'll give you another 40, and out of that 40,000 leads, 60 are older, are the same, and 30 are the new ones.
When do you have to make a decision by? You haven't made this decision.
Oh no,
yet, right?
I haven't. I have to do a demo because again, once I get the demo from the guy, I'll see what are they, again, going back, what are they doing that I can do? You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it's $25,000. Okay, maybe I can do one strategy. Once I find out what they do, because they're gonna give you a whole brief of how they get the leads, and then maybe I go, oh look, they're buying this or they're buying that.
Can you say can you say like I have to bring my business partner, my technical partner, and invite me to the
Yeah,
call?
definitely.
Let me do it because I think I can steal a bunch of their shit and like fucking find some
gonna
guy.
be next week at 3 p.m. I
Okay.
think Thursday, but I'll give you. I'll let you know.
Yeah, just say your technical partner is coming on to make sure everything is
Yeah.
everything
No,
is
yeah.
worked
That's
out.
what I told him. Like I got to talk to my partner on this. I had my.
I heard of this before, like where they take the geo mapping stuff. Like
Mhm.
at least for the last 5 years, I heard like some person somewhere has been doing this kind of stuff, and I think one of the other programs, I forgot but they used to sell like for sale by owners, for rent by owners, and geo mapping too. But I think they only sold the geo mapping for like $120, and there's another one as well that's more expensive. And I forgot what it's called exactly. It's something like Red X or Vulcan X or something like that. But they used to sell it for $250. But this is the first time I heard of something like 25 grand.
25 grand for the year. Oh yeah, because again, I'm pretty sure it's probably just like around 10K.
Right.
The rest it's for they're paying their people and
Yeah.
profit.
Yeah, because the wholesale cost shouldn't be that much to do. And also, like, I'm pretty sure there's some way workaround they're getting that data. I clearly doubt that they are the person sourcing it.
This guy has a book, and I had this guy that built that list. He has a book that when I had seen this, figured out the first time that I saw it, and I saw the book that he had, and he was an investor, a real estate investor, and then he just went into the data business. But I'll look for the book.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so I'm not knocking it off though, because like
once no, I'm pretty sure it is. But again, if you're an entrepreneur and you don't try to save money, then you're not really an entrepreneur. Because
again, and I'm not against spending 10, 25K, because like those are mastermind prices, right? Once you get to a certain level, you're making 5-6 figures a month. Like you have to invest 25K because that's to get to the next level. Like if these leads are like really really good leads, it's worth it because you get 1-2 deals from it. It pays for itself. It's like okay, then it's good. But usually though, these shits are never like good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Again, it is again because again you have to have, in order to, like my going back to, he was talking about systems. You gotta have everything. You gotta have the cold caller ready. You gotta have the conversion guide ready. You gotta have the dispos ready. You can't just buy it and again, you might hit one home run and make 50K. But again, in order to maximize the value of this or the 25K, you gotta have all that system ready. Because you mean if preferably you wanna call those 40,000 leads ASAP. The first week, go through all of them, right? Because then out of the 40,000, the first round, you get 100 leads. And then you keep on following them through those. And then the next week, you do another round, change the number. And then you get another 100 leads. And then you add them to the follow-up. And then the next round, you change the number again. Because you want to go through the whole list. Because again, if you look at it, out of the 40,000 leads that you get, you're not going to get them on the phone on the first call. It might take you 3 or 4 calls for them to actually answer you.
Yeah.
So
I think you have to like voice drop all those people and like triple dialer, 5 dialer, 10 dialer, because like you said, as soon, because when they run that thing and they give you that data, it doesn't, like, for example, that data they give you is already 3 days old, because like to get 40,000 leads, that program has to fucking scrape, if it's really good like AI shit. That thing has to download and scrape all that shit, right? So by the time they give it to you, it might be 3 days old, it's 2 weeks old. and then you're gonna have to go 1-2 weeks through the thing. So it's like,
Yep.
man.
No, yeah. You have to be able to have the system, the people involved. And that's what I was telling you about the system. These people, what they do, the name is Chris Richard. I think hold on. So basically you have to have the system ready to be able to maximize it, to be able to extract as much data from it. But like for me, again, it is worth it, but I'm only gonna be doing, if anything, I'm gonna double it to, instead of being 300 calls a day to maybe 600 calls a day. Because
Yeah, I
it's only
think
gonna be me. Because again, if I can't do it overload where I'm missing calls, I gotta be able to answer the call. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think for you to really maximize that, I think it has to go back to what we were talking about, like, I think a month ago, where you would have to double the amount of voicemail drops that you do.
Mhm.
And then you'd have to, what is it? And then you also have to have your cold caller or somebody on the triple line, like going through the things so you can like reach like 1,200 people, but that's only 1,200 people. But then like he has to go again because he has to reach those people 3 times, right?
Yep.
But your cost is going to be like crazy, but I think it's going to be worth it. Like, because
Yeah,
the efficiency that you're running is going to be like you're running a 5-10 person team.
Yeah. So again, this is where you have to have your ducks ready to go to war. Like, okay, I'm getting the list, boom, let's jump on it, not wait for it. Like, and this is where if you're gonna do a 25K investment, you got to be able to jump on it as soon as possible to be able to go through the list and then go through a list and then go through a list until you get the new batch and then go through a list and go through a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a book. What's his name? I had seen something about his book that he had. That he wrote a book where he was a real estate investor and then he went to doing data. So yeah, I'm gonna have that meeting next week and I'll make sure he was gonna send me an email reminder. And I'll let you know so you can be on the call. So we can just talk to them. But yeah, so going back to that again, if I do change, let's say for any reason that I see that it works, if I buy it, I gotta have the people ready as far as, you know what, let's jump on it. And if I don't buy it, I'll look at for, you know what can we, like you said, what can we get from this conversation? Next year. So let's say if I don't buy it, let's say worst case scenario, I don't buy it. Next year, hopefully towards the end of the month, C buyer, the other leads that I have that I told you, they do sales usually. Oh, get sales for your leads. So I'm gonna do the C buyer. I might pay $300 for the C buyer, but I get the whole leads for the year, the old previous leads.
What happened to the sorry to cut you off, but what happened to like the pre-foreclosures? And because you said that you were going to expand your area a little bit more, right? Because you can still
to another county.
farm, yeah, you can still farm those lists, but
yeah,
just,
that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop.
Okay.
It's just because again, the thing that I don't want to do, I don't want to oversaturate my time. As far as I do too many things. So where I'm at right now, if I just get the list for this, it's just a matter of just getting the list and put it in the system. There's nothing that I gotta do change. It might be the same message. It's just a matter of doing that. If I don't buy this and I do the C buyer leads are just older leads. Remember, if I get C buyers, I get 40 leads for the month, but I also get access to the previous leads for the year, like around 1,200 leads. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay a VA to scrape all those lists. And then I'm gonna text those lists of previous people that we're gonna sell. And then that's another, and that's for $400. If I get 1,200 leads for $400, that's real cheap, and I get numbers too. And those are people that were interested in selling. But remember, what is the main thing that people suck at? Following up. So if I put them on a follow up. Hey, did you interested in selling? I might get those. If I can convert 3 deals from there, you know what I mean? You need to see I'm trying to reduce my cost, but get people that are already interested. And knowing this hack that if I buy a C buyer, I get new leads, but I also get access to the old leads. But I get to scrape them out. So see, that's gonna be. I don't know if they have they usually send emails if they have promotions.
they might even have a Black Friday sale, right?
Yeah, Black Friday, and they have like the end of the year. See, Ashley C buyer. So yeah, man, that's again, I had kind of learned about this type of list a while ago, but again, I haven't jumped on it. It's expensive, and it went up because it was 16,000 last time. Yeah, it was crazy.
So I'm pretty sure their fucking cost is like probably like less than 10K now. It's probably like 6K or some shit.
Yeah. You see, now I'm looking at CBuyer. As a new added bonus, we are offering free leads to our new CBuyer subscribers this week. You see, CBuyer, now they have the promotion is that they're doing, it's 70 leads for my county. So yeah, all you gotta do is, let me see. See, it's $444 for the month. Oh shit. Damn. It's a lot. It's $1,000 a month if I buy the whole 70 leads. That's crazy. So you see, last time that I was doing the C, I'm looking at the CBuyer right here. I know you can see it there. Last time I was getting $12 a lead. 12 times 40. Yeah, 480. I paid 480 for it. So again, we'll see. We'll see how I'll wait for the promotion on that one. So yeah, again, trying to maximize the next year. Again, I bought a big chunk of bandit signs, and I still have some. A lot of them, actually. So again, I don't have to buy bandit signs next year. So where do I allocate my money there for either CBuyer, or do I do this big expense? Hopefully, but again, the big expense doing what I'm doing, I'm making 35, 40 deals a year. Again, can I make 80 deals? But again, it won't be by myself anymore. I have to get somebody else that is going to be my acquisitions or my dispo. That means now it's got to be bigger, and now it's not that it scares me. It's that, like, do I want to get to that level? Maybe I do, maybe I don't, maybe I don't, maybe
yeah, you're gonna be a manager now. It's different.
Yeah, and I've been a manager before of people, right? And it's sometimes it's a headache. You know what I mean? But then eventually it has to get to a level where I can manage people, because again,
yeah,
I'm getting to, maybe I don't want to be in 100% and doing this business. I do because it keeps me busy and it keeps me active and it keeps me interested in real estate. But maybe I do want to come to a point where I want to have a manager. I want to have just people that I manage. Have them run the business.
When are you gonna be a coach, a real coach, Arturo?
Nah, again, I don't know. Again, I kind of did it in the beginning where I was doing with Justin's team, sharing all that I do as far as sharing you how to do it. The thing is about that is that the conversion rate from being a student to being a successful student, it's kind of low. And it sucks for me because like it looks like my thesis or my experience, not my experience, but my teaching either it doesn't work or the concept doesn't work, but it works for me. The only thing that when I teach, that the variable that I can control is the person.
Right.
So that kind of like it gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Like, man, I know I can do it because I've been doing it. I know it works. It's just that I can't control the variable of the student.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the students, especially at membership only. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, it's kind of hard to clone yourself. So yeah, that's
your system does work. I stole a lot of stuff from your stuff, so
I'm telling you, it works. It works. Again, like I was telling the guys, I'm trying to get a little bit more active in the Facebook group, the Facebook Messenger with you guys. It works. But like this
get a little bit more active, man. You should definitely be more active in there, because you're learning you're learning the thing anyways. But I don't think there's not much to learn, in my opinion, because you already know how to do the more advanced stuff, right? From A to Z, sub 2s even, right? Those are more complicated. You can learn lease options in 30 minutes to 1 hour. It's not that hard.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. So that's what I was doing. Like, it's just that the variable of the person, that's the only thing that I can't control. That's outside my realm of control. Again, if you look at the title, I have a land deal that I'm working on. It's 80 acres in my area, and the guy wants 17K per acre. And I think that's cheap because I've seen acres that are selling for around 25K an acre, which is crazy. That means if I just do it like that, if I gave 5K an acre,
Is this a wholesale or is this a owner financing deal?
again, usually these bigger deals are kind of owner financing deals,
Okay.
because again, it's kind of hard to get, because at 80 acres at 17 is 1.3 million. If I sell
Got
it
it.
at 25K an acre, it's 1.8. I make 400K on that land deal. You know what I mean? So it's just, I've heard, and it is, again, it's different. Land. I've done land of just lots, not big land like this. Again, it's a different type of buyer because it's a buyer that's bringing. It's more or less like a sub-developer, like a developer
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be buying it. So just a matter of, okay, if I can get this guy to 12K an acre, and I can get a seller at 25, shit, I'm making it close to $1 million
Yeah.
in just one deal. You know what I mean? So again, land deals like that are bigger. This land deal, it came through I texted him through he has a what's called his house is 5 acres, and it was a low credit, low income lead. And he said, I'm not selling mine, but I have 80 acres here. And this is within 5 miles of the expressway in my area. So it's 5 miles within it's 5 miles from the main street. So that means it makes sense. So you see, just from asking, it worked out. So again, it's just a matter of working it, getting it locked out. Again, making my analysis there. Not taking months to make my analysis. I got to make my analysis this week. Try the area, see what's selling, see who's developing, and lock it up. I might have to give maybe a 5K escrow deposit to lock it up, and just see who bites. At 2 million, probably 2 million makes sense for the 80 acres for my area. That's what I was thinking just when I first got the lead. Yeah, 2 million makes sense on the resale value. He wants 1.3, but if I get it at 12K an acre, that's probably like $800,000 for the whole land, or $900,000, and then again I can negotiate with the seller. So that's gonna be my next deal, and I'll be telling you, updating you guys as the deal goes through, as far as the process, and see where we're at. But yeah, land deals like that again, and it's not too crazy out there where there's nobody. It's kind of, again, this is where buyers for land that's way out there that there's nothing around it, it's harder to get. It's a different buyer, but buyers close where everything's being developed, you can just find it real quick.
How did you pull the bad credit?
That was a service back then. That service went down. If you just search low credit, low income list, there's different providers now for that list.
Yeah.
And that list is old. I've had that list for a long time, but I switched it from being an SMS to doing the RVM. I just put in the RVM. Now the RVM marketing, because the first time that I had it, I did all texting. That's where I was doing 1,000 leads per day. That was selling. That was, it went through there and I had no answer.
Oh, okay.
I had a couple of deals, but I didn't have no answer to that one. And when I switched it, because the good thing is that you can see the history. Oh, a year ago I texted it, because I got a reply a year ago, a year and a half ago. But now this time with an RVM, he called me back and I answered it.
Oh.
So you see, it's different technique worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what I'm doing. Going back is just learning the lease options, implementing, because I know it's coming. This land deal, working it. What else? Dante, hopefully next week we can get on a call and see what we learn. Again, okay, now next year is coming towards the end of the year. How am I gonna implement my marketing next year? Remember, I'm saving close to 2,400 or like 1,200 a month, $1,200 a year, from not doing what's it called, bandit signs, because I don't need them, because I already have them. So okay, where do I spend this money at? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, for me, if Dantec might be a good deal. Again, just I gotta look back. Okay, where do I have the manpower to be able to exploit it as much as possible? And if I don't, I just hear them out. I'll learn something. I'll probably just buy the C buyer, and then before buy the C buyer, get the new leads, and then download the old ones, market those, keep it up with this. Maybe instead of doing 300 a day, maybe I'll do 600 because I have a lot of data. But remember, I don't go through all of it ASAP. I can, if I bump it up to 200 to 300 to 600 bucks, 600 leads a day, I might get double them again. Does that double my workload as far as me going all over the crazy and picking up numbers and texting back? Again, do I want that?
How would you find an acquisitionist for your?
Yeah.
How would you hire them? Are you just gonna look on like Indeed or Craigslist, or how would you start?
So that's gonna be the question that I gotta find out. Like, I would love to have an acquisitionist that's not from this area, that's up from out of country, because again, I can pay them more to work to their standards and where they live. But yeah, again, either Facebook groups, that'll be my first choice. Facebook groups, and yeah, I want somebody, maybe an expatriate, like they say, that maybe lives in Mexico or Costa Rica, where he knows both languages.
Or Canada.
Yeah. But again, I want a bilingual for my area.
Oh yeah,
So,
right.
So yeah, and basically onboard him. But again, onboard him.
I think Mexican VAs and acquisitionists might be a thing too, because I know there was a interview I watched. This guy had he had like a bunch of like VAs, and not only VAs, but they were acquisitionists too. He was like running this entire company, and he was paying them anywhere from like the highest he ever paid for one person from Mexico in that position was like $10 an hour. But like that was like the highest paid. And then they had like, you know, video editors at $7 and like VAs at $3 and stuff like that. So it might be even look at Mexican, you know, people from Mexico.
Yeah, and I'm real close to my area. Is the border. Just a matter of getting the right one, having the right mentality and everything that I want to know, and then just hiring that. Because I think if and that's where, like, from next year, if you want to stay like this stable, I can just stay the same. Again, I'm making pretty good money, and just push that money to other places as far as houses that I buy. But if I want to make maybe bump it up to maybe making 80 deals instead of 40 deals, I got to bring somebody in where I can be just the one tweaking everything over here, and I got to bring two people in, or just one, because he's gonna be answering the calls, and see what is the workload, and maybe I can help him instead of being 100% the manager. I'm 100% of the employee myself, because right now I'm an employee because I work in the business. He can do 100, and then I can add 30. So he let's say I have 100 calls, he answers 100, he answers 70, I answer 30. You know what I mean? So I can help him out a little bit.
When do you think you're gonna start doing that? Like 2023?
Well, it depends. Yeah, but that's the goal for 2023. Where do I allocate? And then I'll see, okay, do I want to make more money or stay consistent? Do I want to risk it in this type of market to make more money? Because when I was telling in the beginning of the conversation, it's gonna be like pulling teeth to get properties at a lower discount, because people they're still enamored with the 2022 March, February, January's pricing, right? And again, for right now, that pricing no longer works. So do I want to dump money? Because again, let's say I do get this acquisition manager. Let's say what is the average salary for acquisition manager? Is it $7 an hour?
Probably, yeah. For Mexican one, yeah, probably.
So again,
probably even less, because maybe you can even decrease it and then give them like a bonus for every time they set an appointment, or a bonus every time they close something.
Yeah.
So you lower your monthly.
So 40 times 5 times 40, that's 200. That's $800 a month that I'm paying.
Which is really good for them. You know, that's probably.
Yeah, it's good, but that's what does that add to my bottom line? That's adds $9,000. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a big chunk of money. So you see, this is where I got now. How he needs to at least bring $100,000 worth of money, at least.
But that's possible, because you bring like at least 400 to 800K a year, right?
Yeah, but
so he should only do 1/8 of you, which is very fair. Or you just fucking fire his ass.
But you see exactly. But you see how hard it is to get people that are like the best employee is you cloned. It's just you twice, but you can't have that, because trust me, when I've hired people when I was a lender, it's kind of hard They'll say you're real good on the conversation, but it's kind of hard to find that one person that actually does what he says. You know what I mean? So that's been my issue of me.
Let's say he makes 100K. Let's say he gives you a revenue of 100K. How much would he get? Is he getting like 10%, 15% commission?
Probably 10%, double
Okay.
his salary. So maybe I just double his salary. Because imagine if I make 10K a year, and I get a bonus at the end of the year, an extra 10K, like shit, you double my salary, bro.
Yeah,
Why
I'm
is
pretty
that
sure that's a lot of money for him. So
that's to anybody that if I make 100K this year, and at the end of the year you give me an extra 100K, that's shit. I'll be happy.
maybe you need 2 acquisitionists, and
You see, and that's where because you can have control 1, and then you get 2 and the controls less. You get 3, the controls less. So again, that's kind of me. That's one of my flaws where I try to control everything.
right.
But again, it's a learning, it's a give and take mentality where you know what? Okay, what can I do? Where can I expand? But also look at the future. Okay, is it gonna get better for getting properties at a discount, or it's gonna get worse for getting properties at a discount at a deep discount? It might, if you were to ask me, it's gonna get worse getting properties at a discount because people are not gonna want to sell after they're on the high of selling for so long, for so high.
Right.
It's gonna be kind of hard to get an extra. So I'm telling you, if I touch 100 leads a year, that I get 40 of them to convert, can I get 200 next year? It's gonna be kind of tough because now everything's enamored. Everybody's not enamored of being high here, and I'm trying to buy them actually lower than we used to buy them before. So it's like, do I spend money to do this, or do I just keep the same way? My question is is it gonna be tougher for me next year to get the same 40 deals, or it's gonna be easier? I'm thinking it's gonna be tougher because people are not gonna want to sell it at this discount because they're still gonna be at the high. Oh, it was sold for this much. I'm not sure this. It's gonna take a while.
So that's why you're marketing harder next year. You have to market harder.
Yes. So I don't wanna add somebody to the business where it's gonna be harder. You definitely want to add people when it's going up. Shit out. Probably not next year, but maybe 2024, when they're now sellers are under the realization that the price in the market's not gonna come back. So now, now for me it's an advantage. So now get another person in there, because now if I market to 200 people, let's say 30 say yes. Before this next year, those same 200 people, only 5 say yes. Do I need an extra acquisition manager for those 5? Like I don't. Now when the wave comes down, yeah, I need an acquisition manager to say yes to those 30. You know what I mean?
But then if you're going the 40K route, you're probably going to need the acquisition manager, right? Because to blow through all those people.
If I buy them, yeah. If I buy them,
man, if you buy them, you're going to be broke as shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Your cost is going to be so crazy for.
Yeah, it means already out of the gate, I'm 25K into the hole. Like, man, it's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to anybody. Because remember, again, that's what, like $2,000 a month. That's a lot of money.
So the task that your VA does now, you could duplicate that with another VA, right? But the problem for you is the cold call, the scraping.
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest, because you just don't want to train that VA over again, right? That's why.
I don't want her to do anything else.
Yeah.
She's done it, but she's not that great at cold calling.
But if you found another VA and you duplicated, because for example, you said she only works the gorilla only 1 week, and then she does the scraping for 3 weeks. So if you had 2 VAs, they can do the gorilla and the scraping, right?
Yeah, but then what do they do with the extra time?
They could do like the Craigslist for rent by owner stuff. We'll figure out a way.
But remember, the Craigslist, like for me, she used to do it, but because I had to add another VPN. You see how I had to add a VPN, or I got to give her access to my account, because when she did the Craigslist for more there, those Craigslist will get banned.
Right.
Because
let's say if we fix that, would you do it?
I don't think my bang for my buck will come from the Craigslist list that much. You know what I mean?
But if you had two times the the farm list. So let's say you widen it around, so now you have more of a radius, because most of your deals comes from that list, right? That's a really good list for you.
Which list?
The like the pre-foreclosures, the bankruptcies.
Yeah, but you see, but those they're not being marketed through the VAs. Those are being marketed through the RBMs.
Mm.
So all
But
she's
no,
doing
but
is,
they're scraping your VA is scraping that list though, right? You're not scraping that list, right?
yeah, my VA. But remember,
Yeah.
I can't just double the amount of lists that she needs to scrape.
Right,
It's
right.
set. So let's say for the month I get 500 lists, 500 records from that list. That's it.
Mhm.
I can't double it. Hold on, let me answer this. It's Encore. Yeah, hello. Good yourself? Go ahead.
Put her on speaker. We can't hear her.
Okay, so you think the HUD's gonna be ready for today?
I believe so. We can get everybody to approve.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. That's the deal that I'm closing for 25K.
Mhm. Good job.
Let me just text this later. Sorry, man. So you see, what I'm telling is like I can't just double the leads because I add an extra person. Again, the leads are the lead. Like from my area, the leads are the leads. So I think
Yeah, but
one
if
person.
you expanded that more, like let's say you add 50 or 100 mile radius, you would add all those little small counties too, right? Because
Yeah,
I think
again,
those
I
small
would.
counties you wouldn't have competition because like they're not going to be as good as a acquisition person. They're not going to be as good as a caller as you. So I don't think those lists are going to be farmed as much.
The thing is like the only way that I can expand in my area, I can't expand no more. It's it. I can jump to another. That basically I have to jump
Yeah.
300 miles to like maybe
300 miles. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has to be again to make sense. Again, you want to be able. If I was to expand and add an extra person, that means I got to go not San Antonio, but the counties around it. Not
Right.
Austin, the counties around it. Not Houston, the counties around it. You know what I mean? I have to go basically in order for me to expand, I have to go virtual. If I want to add that second VA, I have to go virtual.
So the 40,000 list that you're geo farming, that's your area?
That's my area.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's my area only. Because remember, my area here, it's around 500,000 people.
And also,
More or
do they
less.
give you a guarantee that you only get that list and your competitors don't?
Yeah, they well, that's what they say. But again, I'm pretty sure nobody's spending 25K on a list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think yeah. So I was just wondering because the VA, because I'm just figuring out, because I know for you sometimes you don't want to get through the technical stuff or you don't want to do anything that's not time consuming, but maybe I can figure out a way for you to maybe a technology or to, because I'm very good at hiring the VAs too. So I could hire them for you and then, you know, it could speed up the process for you. And all I do is just like look at how you train the VA, because I can just duplicate that in my system, right? That's the only trick. Like I can find the VA for you and then you just train the VA, or you give them the video because you already have that VA already has all the videos, right? Just record the
Yes.
video once and then
Yeah.
I'll tell my VA to train your VA and then you'll have a VA up and running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
again,
I think like I'm just trying to figure out any of your like bottlenecks in your workflow, because I think it's just a lead bottleneck because you're going to go buy more leads, right? So that means you have a problem with your leads. Like you there's more ways you can get a lead that is just not 25K.
Yeah. What's it called? The only thing that I want to do is like, do I want to get into that realm of growing?
Yeah.
Again, if I do, then yes. Again, if I go again, my main thing is like the overhead cost.
Yeah.
To add another person to the pipeline. That means if I had 20 minutes free, now I'm gonna have 15 minutes free.
Right.
Because again, the learning curve for that VA, even though it's a VA that's trained, is gonna take some time. Now
Yeah.
the dispo, I don't have a dispo, so that means that I gotta be doing the dispo. If I was doing one dispo, not this one, I'm doing two. Now I ain't getting the benefit of closing more money, but again, you weigh, okay, is the money worth more or my personal time worth more?
Yeah, definitely your personal
If-
time is always worth more.
So again, do I want that? Or can I maybe instead of growing from 40 to 80, can I do from 40 to 50? And that's where
Yeah.
I'm doing the lease options. So I know that channel my goal is to do 10 lease options for next year at 10K. And it doesn't change anything. It's just another channel.
Right.
It's just another channel. I'm not adding, I'm not doing an overhead cost of 300. I'm just doing just another channel.
Yeah, you're just only adding another tool belt. Like, so people that say no to that, and you can also call, people that said no to you before, and then, hey, you want to try this new method? I got the secret new strategy. I'm not sure this new platinum program that my boss just offered. I'm wondering if I wonder if you got that that green envelope with the platinum offer. Did you hear about it?
Yeah, I know. Trust me, it works a lot. Like people like, they're surprised how good it works. It works a lot.
Yeah.
Like that pattern interrupt helps you a lot. What's it called? You just gotta know how to do it and not be scared of it. But yeah, again, so again, that's my concern for how big do I want to grow, and how much time do I want to lose?
Yeah.
How much overhead do I want to have, or how much profit do I want to have?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a better market next year, or is it going to be a worse market to be able to get discount properties? It might be a better market to do owner finance properties, but it's going to be for me personally, I think it's going to be a worse market for owner finance for getting properties at a deep discount. It's going to be much better to get properties at the same price, owner finance or lease options. That's what I'm thinking. Because people are not going to be able to qualify for new loans. There's a lot of properties that are going to be for sale. Again, the taxes are still going to come. The pre-foreclosure are still going to come. So I was like, let me just add another leg of lease options for me. But then I ran into this list. I'm like, okay, can I buy this list? But then you look at it, okay, you look at the variables. Okay, if I do pay the 25K for this list, what's my projection for next year? Is it going to be better to get this kind of properties, or is it going to be worse? I think personally it's going to get worse because people are still in the honeymoon phase. You know what I mean? Again, but consistently, what's been here? Taxes are always there. Pre-foreclosure is always there. Probates are always there. Powers of attorneys are always there. Wills are always there. Divorces are always there. TT leads are still there. The judgments are still there. The tax transfers. So that's what I'm still doing. I'm adding just the lease option to capitalize on the people that can't sell their house. They want to sell, but they can't sell. So that's my only, okay, I'm gonna do that. So yeah, that's been my issue for what's coming up. Do I want to do this or do I want to do that? So yeah, that's my biggest issue. But yeah, if I want to expand, yeah, I need to hire at least 2 people, acquisition and a transaction coordinator. Because worst case scenario, if I don't want to even, you know what? Let's say I go into a new market and I have to get into a new market. Let me get, hold on. Hello. Go ahead, man. 63. I almost gave you my social security over the Zoom call. So yeah, so worst case scenario, let's say I do get a lead from another market that I get. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna hire a dispo company. I'm not gonna even worry try to get new buyers. Just get a dispo company to do it.
Yeah.
I have
or
to
you can just get a real estate agent in that area, and then they could dispo it for you.
Yeah, but I think it's easier to, when you first starting, just get a dispo agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have them dispo it. They're gonna get 50% of the deal. but they're gonna do everything else. Yeah, because if you're getting 50% of my deal, you gotta handle the contract, handle the title company. I don't want to follow up with you. I'm now I did my part. Now I gotta just wait for my check. So yeah, Vic. So yeah, that's been what I'm thinking. Again, I had the call with that guy earlier today. And yeah, see what I'm gonna do for next year.
Yeah. Also, if you want, after we go on that call for you said it was Wednesday, right? What time was it Wednesday? 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, 3 o'clock. After that, we can also talk afterwards. And what I can do is I can go over the 3 deals that I did. So 2 of them were in Texas, so it can be very relevant to you, because then I can go over the paperwork that I used, the contracts that I used to basically change the documents as well, the amendments. I can walk you through that so you know that at least the paperwork process.
And these
And
are lease options, right?
yeah, we actually talked about them like 2 or 3 months ago. It was the one in Conroe, Texas. I don't remember the one that I had for $235K. You remember
Okay.
this one? And
Mm,
then this one, the one that Justin closed, but then we didn't find a buyer. Like nobody wanted that. And then the first one was the very first deal I put on their contract. This one was like in the middle of nowhere, and we got a buyer for it, but the buyer backed out. So we had everything signed up, lined up, but the buyer backed out because when they went to the house, it was like completely fucking trashed. And they were like,
okay.
no. They were like, no, we can't do that. And then we went back, and then they signed the paperwork. So they're like, okay, fine, let's do it at that price after we lowered like 2 or 3K.
That's what was you negotiating with the buyer or negotiating with the seller?
The dispo negotiated with the seller,
Okay.
with the buyer, the end buyer. But then they didn't want to go through with it because the money that they were going to use to close for that property, so they like sold some land, but then the money that they got from the land, it didn't work out with them, so they couldn't buy our property because they couldn't close their previous transaction to get the money to close for our
So
transaction.
you went to sell one thing to buy another.
Yeah,
basically.
so that one didn't work out because of that, not because of us.
Yeah.
And the other one, there was no buyer. But both those were in Texas, so I can walk you through the documents we use.
Yeah, we can do a
troubleshooting
case study
everything.
next week. Yeah, definitely do a case study next week. Because yeah, I would like to know again. I would like to learn the process as far as what paperwork was signed
Yeah,
and how
And
you
we can
talk
go-
to the client. and everything.
how do you talk to your client, and because that's specifically relevant to you in Texas, so you know what paperwork to use and what phrasing we use to close the seller. And then the disposition, I mean, you're gonna find a disposition company anyways, because let's say it's far away or whatever like that, or you can ask Justin, get on it, just call with Justin, like, how do you handle the disposition side? Like I can
Yeah.
handle the acquisition side, but how do you handle the disposition side? Just take notes, and then you can just figure it out from there.
Okay. I was gonna ask you. So you have 2 successful lease options or one?
One successful one,
Okay.
and those
How much was
two,
that?
that was like a 10K assignment.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only want to do 10 of those. That was in Conroe?
No, that one was in the Michigan, Saline, Michigan one.
Okay. It wasn't here in the valley. It wasn't here in
Not
Texas?
not in our state, not the great state. Yeah, but the first one should have closed, but the third one that we did, it didn't close just because there was just like nothing in there.
There was no buyers?
Yeah, no buyers. Like nobody contacted us for that specific place. And that one actually, because it fell out because they couldn't find buyers. And then we went in there and we tried to attack them. This was the one where I talked to you that this guy, I didn't follow up with him, and he followed up with me like 6 weeks later. You remember that conversation we had? And then you told me
Yeah,
I
I think
should
you had
go
told me,
follow up. Yeah, I should go follow up more. So that was that lead, and then we just gave it to Justin, and Justin called them to follow up, even though it was pretty warm for us.
Yeah.
He followed up, and then he closed them, but then we couldn't find a buyer because the same situation happened. I think it's because the rent was too high. Like he was asking for 2,100, and the rents in that area were only 1,700. So
Oh,
Just to keep in mind that maybe you can only go 1 or 200 or 10% above, but not like 20% above the rent price.
okay. Above the rent price. Okay.
Yeah, above the rent price in that area, unless it's like a very very like super A class neighborhood. But I
Yeah.
think if it's just like a regular BC, then probably not 10 to 20% for rents. Because what I've heard from other people in the disposition team, they said that people really look at the rent prices. So they'll look at if it's really cheap rent, like anything like under $1,000 rent, it's almost always going to get sold because people love that low rent price. They'll put a
Okay.
down payment down for that low rent price. But if it's a high rent price or above average rent price, it's going to sit on the market longer, even if you had an attractive down payment price. I don't know why the buyer psychology like that. Maybe you have a theory or something like that, but that's just
Well, yeah.
like
If the rent, if I'm already paying, let's say I've been renting for 5 years,
mhm.
and you ask yourself, well, I've never been evicted, right? Like you asking yourself a question as far as a renter. If my idea was to become a homeowner, okay, I look, okay, I've been a renter for 5 years. My average rent's been 1,000. I've never been evicted. That means even though I'm not now I owe 100,000, I know I can pay 1,000 no matter what. Because during those 5 years, I had ups and downs. I lost jobs. I got jobs. I got divorced. I had kids. And I can pay 1,000. So that's why. If that's the average rent that he's paid, then yeah, that's the reason why it's so fast. Because I wouldn't be scared to put 25K down on a lease option because I know for a fact I'm not gonna lose my 25K down first of all, and I'm not gonna mess up on the payments because I've done it for 5 years. So that's the psychology behind it. Of them not being scared. Now, so for me in my area, I gotta see what is the average rent for a house goes. If it's 1,200, then I gotta be below that 1,200 to make it more attractive instead of being a home renter, being a homeowner.
Mm.
So you see, so now that for me, those properties are not that, they're not nice. They're nice properties. They're not just in the greatest locations. Maybe it's a little bit on the outskirts, but it's a house.
Quick question. For your seller finance deals, like when your person goes and sells it and she disposes it, is she selling it for like $100, $200, $300 above what market rent is, or is she selling it at market rent or
Hold on, let me
below
ask you
market?
something.
Sure.
Yeah, hello. We do, sir. What's the address? Here, McAllen? Palmview. Okay. Let me just put it. You caught me right in front of hold on. Of the computer. Let me see. How soon do you want to close on this transaction on this house? Do you already have a new house? Do you already have a new house to move to?
What I have, I'm wholesaling the property. It's under contract right now.
Oh, so you,
it's for cheap. It's for like 15K.
just the house or the house in the lot?
It's just the house, but it needs to be moved.
Okay. Send me pictures of the house. I think it's a little greenhouse, right?
No, it's like yellow. It's
Yellow
a
with
two-bedroom, two-bed.
with like brown trim, like green bluish trim.
Yeah.
Okay. Equals to you. I think it's how big is the square footage on it?
Square footage.
Yeah.
I don't check. They didn't tell me.
Okay.
I was talking to the lady instead of.
Yeah, because I think the price is too high because it's real small. The house, it's gonna cost you around. Again, you can talk back to the client. It's gonna cost you around 5,000 to move.
5,000 to move.
Yeah.
I mean, we can drop it around down to like maybe like 11.
No, see, it's 5K to move, and that house is too small. I think if I was you, if I was a wholesaler, I'll probably try to get it for like 1,000.
For 1,000?
Yeah, because the moving cost is 7. It's 700 square feet. It's an older house. You know what I mean? I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't put on the contract for anything bigger than 4, maybe tops 4K for that property. because it's just too small. And it looks like it was built, let me see, let's have a number here, in the 2000s, so it's almost 22 years old. So if you were to sell it to me, let's say the seller calls me, I'll probably get it either for free or for a couple of thousand. And I'll tell the client, you know what, I'll move it for you and I'll clean your lot and I'll give you a couple $1,000. Because the value is not there. I'd rather buy it with a lot if she wants to sell a lot and I can pay you more. But for the house itself, it's gonna cost you, seller, $5K to move. So I'll give you maybe a couple $1,000 and I'll move it. But anything.
And do you have any houses like what kind of houses you interested? Cause like I got like
I'm usually interested in properties that with the land. Again, for this type of properties, I have to move it. I have to either get them free or getting close to free. Because of that, I gotta do the cost. Because again, my properties, I gotta move into probably like 20, 30 miles from there. But if you have other properties on the contract, send them over. Let me see them. I don't try to go Palmview because that area is kind of dangerous. I like try to stay closer to where the works are, like where the hospitals are at.
all right.
So yeah,
And you're always available in this your number.
yes, sir. Just go ahead and text me or call me or and I'll answer. If I don't answer you, send me a text or like, hey, I got this deal. Send me the address and send me pictures if you have some.
All right, man. Thank you. I'll give you a call sometime.
All right, brother. Be safe.
You too.
So again, like for me, bandit signs, it slowed down a lot. It slowed. I don't know if you heard that, but it has. That's why I answered it because it's been slow a lot. So this guy has a deal, has a house deal. It's just a house. He wanted 15. Like I wouldn't, if I was you as a wholesaler, I wouldn't get any other contract for anything over $1,000, $2,000, $4,000.
He had like a mobile home that he wanted to move off
a frame house.
Oh, okay.
A frame house. The thing is that it's small. There's no value in that. Like I would tell the seller, like you have to pay $5K to move it from here. That's in the cheap side. And it depends how far you move it. Like when they tell me it's always better to move it to sell it to one of the neighbors. So the cost is real cheap. That's what I tell the clients. The cost might be a couple of $1,000. But when you move it, when you have to get permits and you have to move it to further than 5 miles from there, it's more expensive. So again, I can buy it. I can take it off your hands and clean your lot for free. I buy it for free and I'll pay for everything else. So it's like I'm doing the value on the moving part and cleaning the lot. Because this guy wanted what's it called, 15K, like 15K for a house that is for a wood house. No, I mean I'm paying almost 22K for it. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. I have to either get it, like I told him, if I was a wholesaler and the lady's calling me, I'll get it close to free. You know what? I'll move it from here. You don't have to worry about anything else, but I gotta get it for free.
You should call him back and say, hey, next year I'm looking for an acquisitionist. I can train you because it looks like you don't know how to buy houses.
No, he looks like a young guy, like he's a new guy. Yeah, because it's crazy expensive. Again, now the money's in the lot. I can probably pay you 30K for the lot in the house.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But maybe they might want to build in that area. So that's why what's it called? He's selling the lot. He's selling the house by itself. So yeah, my guy.
How often do the wholesalers call you? Like other wholesalers call you and say, hey, I got a XYZ deal, blah blah blah, and you're like,
sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that?
oh, I said, how often do people call your bandit signs and they're not the
not that often. Let's say out of the month, I probably get like 2 calls from people that want to what's it called, unload their contracts. Yeah, one or two months, one or two calls a month, not that many. But like they haven't, like if you look at the bandit signs, I haven't gotten a call probably in 3 weeks for selling me houses. Slow down, like it kind of like just came to a halt. the last 3
Do you
4
think
weeks.
maybe possibly that, you know, people are just tired of seeing your bandit signs the same one and they're used
It
to
might
it? Maybe,
saturation. That could be
Yeah.
it. But I've had it for 3 years, so
yeah.
it would have happened within a couple of years, not 3. I think it's just people like that. You know what? They're just trying to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But then what you do is just keep on putting bandit signs. Again, you don't change. You just keep on putting bandit signs. So you don't change the, like I say, you don't change your technique because it stopped working. You just keep on doing it. And now, if it doesn't work for 3 years, like a whole year, I only get 3 calls, then maybe I should just quit bandit signs, leave those out there, and don't
Yeah.
change the number. Just go double down the $1,000 you're gonna put in bandit signs, get the C bar. Because next year I have bandit signs. I'm not gonna quit doing bandit signs. I'm just gonna put more. So that means that I can just those $1,000, $1,200 that I have, I can put them on another marketing technique.
All right, man. Let's wrap up. Let's talk
Let's
again
wrap it
on
up.
Wednesday.
Let's that call for Wednesday. Let's do it. And also for Friday next week, let's break down that wholesale, that lease option that we have completely, so we can talk about that. And yeah, we'll tell you how my deals went, and I'll give you a follow up on the 80K acres.
Yeah. See you guys next week.
All right, brother. Be safe.
Yeah.